Between diets, workouts, and endless advice, it's hard to know what actually works for weight loss and what's worth your time. That's why hers offers access to an affordable range of FDA approved GLP-1 medications that now includes the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at hers, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever GLP-1 pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. Ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/alter to get personalized affordable care that gets you. That's FORHERS.com/alter. Forhers.com/ALTAR. Weight Loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information and restrictions, visit forhers.com. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Altar Call. I'm your host, Tane, here with this week's reality show, Ramble. I'm going to be talking about a show that's not a reality show, but it was a documentary that I just had to talk about. Trust Me, The False Prophet on Netflix. Going to be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta and talking about the Laguna Beach reunion. And we'll see if there are other couple of shows, but those are the three shows that I intend to talk about on this episode. Before I start talking about them, just want to remind you that I have a patreon.com/altacallmafs, and you can check out bonus episodes and ad-free episodes over there. The most recent bonus episode is the documentary, The Truth and Tragedy of Mariah Wilson, which I did with AIDS. So go check it out. Before I go into the shows, a little bit of news in Bravo. Robyn is coming back to Potomac. I'm famously not a Robyn fan, so sure, if she's coming back, I am kind of bummed that Angel is not coming back because I mean it was a terrible first season, but it would have been good to see what she does with the second season, knowing what she does now, giving time, after having a baby. It just seemed like it was bad timing for her. And also, bring her back, don't bring back Kay, and see who she is without Kay, because I do feel that Kay influenced a lot of her first season. But also, most importantly, is who is Giselle going to be with Robyn back? I think that's the part that I can't figure out. Like, who is Robyn going to be coming back after being fired and being brought back as a friend of? Like, what attitude is she going to have? Is she still going to be nasty? I don't know. That dynamic between her and Wendy and Giselle, I don't know what we're going to see, but I enter with trepidation to see how this is going to go. So, but Karen is back and Stacy's going to be there and Tia hasn't interacted with them. So we'll see how it goes. But maybe a little part of me wouldn't be so bad if they brought back Kay. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just going to trust the casting producer. Well, Jazzy's not coming back. Now that's a good decision. We don't need to bring Jazzy back to this. Okay, also, Lisa from Real Housewives of Miami, the recently on pause, allegedly, it's just canceled. You can't put that show on pause twice and bring it back. At this point, what are we doing? Which is in itself a terrible decision. They should have just left Miami on Peacock where it was and just let it flourish. But I still have no idea why this show was canceled. But Lisa and Jody have been charged with one count each by Lenny of interception of wire oral electronic communication. So I guess Lenny is accusing them of listening in on his conversations or having a tracking device. This is the divorce that would never end. At this point, I don't know whose divorce is worse, Lisa's or Bethany's, because Bethany's took forever and so is Lisa's, but Lisa's just feels like torture and is never ending. And I bet Jody's like, I should have just stayed away, but he has his own problems over there. But I wish them the best because kids are involved, and as always, you guys know I always say the kids are who suffer for grown people's decisions. And I wish they would always remember that these kids did not ask for all of this. Okay, going into the first show I'm going to talk about, which is the Trust Me, the False Prophet over on Netflix. Guys, what a tough watch. I had to take a break and step back because it was just really, really um tough subject matter. And first of all, if you are going to watch this show, you have to first watch Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. That's a different documentary that's also on Netflix. This tells the story of the original, I mean, there are many of them, the original false prophet Warren Jeffs and his sect of the FDLS church. And his was also horrendous that right now he's currently sentenced to life in prison. So you have to watch that if you plan on watching this and get the background and then watch this to understand where this um Sam Bateman decides that he himself is a prophet. So because Warren Jeffs is in prison, he basically tells them what to do as their want to do as leader of cults, but he's been sending letters. But after a while, he just kind of stopped communication and they had no direction. And before he stopped direction, Warren Jeff starts telling them that they can't have sex and they can't have babies anymore simply because he wasn't having sex anymore or having babies. So they have to suffer the same fate. How someone tells you to do that and you don't realize that something is wrong is beyond me. But anyway, Sam Bateman decides that this is an opportunity for him to be the second coming of Warren Jeffs. So while they're under the rule where they're not supposed to marry or have babies, he suddenly starts marrying and having babies. And the thing is, he's marrying whole families. Like he's marrying siblings, he's marrying mothers and daughters, and he's just marrying like at a rapid rate, let me put it that way. And it's like, what are we doing here? So, of course, everyone is noticing that he's having babies, but enter Christine and Tolga. They're a married couple. He used to shoot music videos, and she came with the intention. They moved to where they live and the little town where they are because she watched the documentary and she'd had something similar in her past. The thing is, the documentary never really goes into in depth about what she went through, but we just get an idea that, she went through the same thing and she doesn't want that to happen. And she moved and came in here to save the girls, from themselves. And, her past was just really, I think, traumatic for her. I don't know if this is her way of working through it. But either way, they become friends. The couples become friends with Sam Bateman and his family, and they start visiting every day. He starts inviting them over. And they document everything. He tells them to document everything. He keeps saying that he's telling his story, and they kind of convince him to have a documentary about his life. And that's another thing. These dickheads are so narcissistic that they always want to record everything, and these are the things that get them being caught. So I'm not even mad at that because if that's what gets them caught, then that's great. Because that's the same thing with Warren Jeffs. That happened to him, and he got caught through his recordings. He was recording everything, his crimes. And the next dude, Keith Raniere, he was also recording everything. So I don't know, there's a weird thing about recording, and that's how they usually get caught. So they infiltrate the family, they get close to the family, and Christine's whole goal is to kind of make them see like, hey, this is not right, because guys, they are enamored by this guy. Like they sit there, like they gaze at him, like the father is what they call him. And it's just so icky and weird to see like all the girls and then the underage girls too. So the documentary, we are in the age of AI, does this thing where anyone who's underage, we don't get to see their faces, but they just digitally alter their faces. So yeah. So yeah, I mean anything they have to do to protect the girls, that is, but it's just, we are now moved beyond the stage where we used to blur out faces and now we are just digitally altering faces. So anyways, her goal is to kind of, drop hints here and there so they realize like, hey, this guy's not a real prophet. I know you think you need to obey, but everything he's telling you is not right. I don't want to get too graphic because it's just disgusting, but basically what he was doing was having sex with them all. He has people who follow him. Some of the people on there was a guy named Moranai, and he loved Sam Bateman so much. Like he even said in the documentary that he would give his life up for him. There's nothing he wouldn't do for him. They had another guy, Torrance, and there's another guy, Lydell, something. Three guys that they featured in the documentary who are just devoted to Sam Bateman. He has a Bentley. I don't even think this man works, but I think they just provide money for him. And Murnai gave basically all the girls in his family to Sam Bateman. So, like his wife, his daughters, the underaged, the overage. So, you have siblings married to this man, and it's just gross. So, basically, what we find out is that he's having sex with them. He's having sex with them with their dad, that making their dad have sex also with other women while the children are in the room and they're also watching. And then he kind of made them also watch other people having sex so they know how to please him. And it was just, he gets his things where he calls impressions, which, I mean, some could call that like maybe visions or something like that. And he says God is impressed on him that he had to give away the girls, to men, and that it hurts him so much that he can imagine how much it hurts for him to give away his prized possessions or watch them being hurt. And it's just so gross. And, finding out that he was kind of smart because he would use protection so the underage girls wouldn't get pregnant. That's kind of how they got Warren Jeffs. Just everything about it is just creepy, icky, and just disgusting. And just why do men have to be so evil? Like, what is this control? What is this obsession with underage girls or girls, people being childlike? Like, you have women who are of age who are willing to be with you. Why do you have to bring the children? Well, I mean, I know it's because of power, but it's sick. It is so sick. So, anyways, they infiltrate, they get close to the family. Christine is hoping that she can get someone to just, come to her and confess everything that's going on. I think at some point she got a recording of him, and when he got that impression to get the children, that because that's what they are. I'm not gonna say his underage wife, he's the children to the men. He says it and she whips out her phone and records it. Now she sends it to the policeman, and she's been trying to get in contact with this policeman who is on TV saying, oh, we needed this, we didn't have enough. Guys, I get it. The law is about what you can prove. It's not about if you did wrong or not, or if we even know. It's about what you can prove. And I know he was trying to make a strong case, but this man really irritated me because he was dragging his feet, as far as I'm concerned, and wasn't really doing anything. Like, we see her call multiple times and getting voicemail and not hearing back, from him. But she eventually gets someone to crack, and it's Julia. And her husband is Moranai. He's the one I mentioned earlier as a blind supporter of Sam. And she goes to Christine for help. There was one wife that I always saw in the background that I really wanted to know her story because it felt like she wasn't believing anything, but I don't know. Maybe I was just reading meaning into that. But they begin to gather all this info. Now, Christina's called the cops so many damn times, even after recording him saying that he had to have sex, and yet this idiot cop was dragging his feet. And he even said, oh, when I listened to the tapes, I couldn't listen to them more than once because it's not for a gentle heart. Well, dude, how do you think these little girls are feeling? How do you think it is to go through this over and over again? Anyways, it always takes a woman to get the job done because we get an FBI agent. Because at first the cop is like, well, it has to be across state lines for sex trafficking. And Kristen is like, no, we got them. We got them on tape saying they had to travel to Colorado. They had to go to Arizona. So either way, they have all these different states that they've been to. So this lady is in the FBI. She does work in, I think, child trafficking. And she's in her last year of the job. I think before, yeah, I think she retired or she was moving somewhere. And they tried, and after many attempts, they finally get Sam. And just leading up to the the getting of Sam and just nabbing him and nailing him, even I were nervous. And I have to give props to Christine and to Julia because that is a huge undertaking because Sam was beginning to get suspicious and he threatened her that he would take her children away from her. And she had a toddler also. And she was gathering everything. She got birth certificates. She was getting information to the point where he abandoned her. They had a blue room, they had a green room, and he left her in the house by herself. And she was just worried about what would happen. And imagine, like, it's so scary to see how brainwashed these girls were. Like, you would see him talk, like, they focus on a particular wife, Naomi, who was always at his feet and just talking anything he says, you're right, we need you, we want you. And I don't want to go so deep into the story so you have something to watch, but he even tries to flee. He tries to flee the state and, puts them in the trailer and they get caught. And at some point where they were coming into the house, I think one of the girls were just like, we need our AR-15. Like, if they try to get us, we're going to kill them and it'll be violence. Like, that's how brainwashed that they were. And, there's arguments about Christine and Tolga's intentions. Like, in terms of that, they were infiltrating. Like, they'll do things and they'll say, oh, we love you. Oh, that's right. And they were encouraging things and they'll leave. And Christine would be like, I couldn't do this. This was disgusting. And, some people argue that, they were kind of complicit. Listen, was their intention? Was it clean? Was it a clean path? No, it wasn't. Was it self motivated in some way? Yes, because she was trying to, you know, work through something from her past. But ultimately, it was for good, guys, because, she didn't get all of them. Some of them still believe that he's the prophet, even till now. But she got some people out. Like, for you to even, to me, convincing Naomi that she was brainwashed and even her finding out on her own is such a win because she was the top dog. She was the leader of everything that, they did. And, Christine is a little quirky, but it was cute to see how much, Tolga supported her. But I had questions like, how are they affording their life? Like, they sold their house, they got a house. What are they doing every day to fund their life? Either way, what she did was brave, but the MVP was Julia. I hope Julia is okay because opening your eyes on your own after being indoctrinated is not easy. Everything, having that guilt of what they did to the kids because she's guilty, Morana is guilty, just realizing like this cannot be okay. And they didn't ask for this. We brought them into this and we should have known better. There's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of things to go through. And I hope, she'll be okay. But I want to encourage people to watch the documentary because it was good, but I guess the warning is that it's the subject matter is not easy at all. But it was a good thing that was done, but there's just a lot of questions also like how far did Christine go too deep into this and, was it worth it in the end? So if you did watch the documentary, I'd like to know what you think. Like, is it a case of the end justifies the means or did she go too far? She intends to still stay there and still help people because she does help people. It's not just these girls that were featured on here. She does help other people. So, let me know. That is the documentary over there. Okay, I'll take a break and I'll be right back.
Conversations about GLP-1 are all the rage these days, and it almost always centers around weight loss. It's been eye-opening to realize that there are way more benefits that go beyond the scale, like better lab numbers, more energy, and new levels of confidence. One of the scary parts about using a GLP-1 for most people are the self-administered shots because they can be intimidating. But guess what? RHOA now offers the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss at the lowest cost around. That's one daily pill for fewer cravings and feeling fuller with an innovative new formula clinically proven to maximize weight loss. All this and more is why I'd go with RHOA if I ever wanted to start a GLP-1 journey. Go to rho.co/alter to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on RHOA. That's ro.co/altar to get started on RHOA. Go to rho.co/safety for boxed warnings and full safety information about GLP-1 medication.
Okay, Atlanta is Bizak. There's a lot of talk about Atlanta is not the same. What kind of show are we watching? We missed the old show. Yes, it is true. It is not the Atlanta that we knew, but I do think we need to move on. This is how the new Atlanta is, and we just need to get on board or don't watch it at all. And I'm choosing to just get on board with this version of what the show is right now. And, it's two episodes that feel like filler, but I'm enjoying it. Like, it's not too deep. It's just, the beef having fun, and that's what's happening right now. K Michelle joining the show is great. I don't care what anybody has to say, especially not what Robyn has to say, but she's been fun. It's so fascinating that a whole group of people are just going to be discovering K Michelle for the first time in their lives. Two Americas, guys. Like, it's so wild to me. When K Michelle has been on my reality TV screen for years, she had her own show on VH1 with her makeup artist and hairstylist, and she was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. She was on Marriage Boot Camp with her now husband. He was her boyfriend at the time, and it's just like, it's K Michelle, you know? So, she's been open about the mess that her surgery has done to her, and it looks like I didn't realize it was still affecting her. And it seems like on this episode, she talks about it. And for those who are interested, if you want to see her ACM Honors show, you can find her performance online. But she had a great first episode, kikiing with Charles, not knowing what to do. Like, she's a vet on reality TV, but Housewives is a completely different thing. So not knowing what to do during the fights, especially during Portia and Kelly, that was funny. That was funny to watch. It was like a tennis match for her. And when they were fighting in the first episode, she kind of went out and went with the guys and was like, please, I can't do this right now. But speaking of Portia and Kelly, like, I don't even know what is true because Portia is a liar and she just could be getting her lick back on Kelly. But I don't know if Kelly protested too much and if Kelly is sleeping with a married man, and also it's Atlanta. Nothing is impossible in that place. So I'm still unsure about whether Portia is lying or just getting her lick back on Kelly staying on her neck for stealing Simon. I don't know. Portia is great. Portia is gorgeous. I gotta say that again. And like I said, Portia is a liar. Like, getting a boyfriend from Ready to Love is rookie move. Why are you hiring a boyfriend? It's been done before. Don't do it, Portia. You don't need to do that. I mean, by the next episode, we meet Sway, who is her girlfriend right now. So I don't know what that was about. And also, I do wonder what the time span between episode one and episode two was. It just felt like there was like a sweet amount of time, not like 3 months or anything, maybe like a month between that episode. Portia is great, right? She has a cast that works around her, and you can tell that she's being looked at as the anchor, I guess, but she is the OG. She is the one that has been there the longest at this point. But I still maintain that Portia is still best as an ensemble. I just don't see her. She's not been able to lead a show. That doesn't mean she's not a great housewife. She's a great housewife, but I still always see Portia as a great ensemble housewife. But things like, airing out Kelly, then hugging her right after is why she's a great housewife. But again, she still pulls stunts like getting a fake boyfriend for the first episode. Anyway, Phaedra is still a nothing burger to me. Like, is she a friend of, or is she an actual full cast member this season? I don't know, but she should be a friend of. Like, there's nothing. It's just the cast members. But like most housewives, their children are the best of them, and it's just Aiden is just the best and crazy. We all know that scene from when he was going to kindergarten, and it was crazy to see him driving. Yeah, okay, just call me a fussel. You know, you don't have to be indirect. Just say that. But Pinky, Pinky is opening up. We got a whole segment this season about her marriage, everything she was going through, but I'm not feeling it yet for her. So I'm gonna give it time. It's just 2 episodes, but I'm not feeling it yet. Angela remains the best, guys. I mean, Angela knows how to move on. Angela knows how to move stories along. Angela knows how to carry her fan, but she still remains, the good catch, the MVP of the new housewives from Atlanta. Yeah, Drew is still there. I don't Drew is just Drew. I don't know what to say. True is just true. But the funny part about Drew this last episode was when Portia introduced Sway to them and she was like, "Why are you living my life?" And Portia's like, "Did you catch that?" But Kyle should take a page from Portia. Like, listen, Portia's living her life out and proud. We don't care. Just be happy. That's all that matters. And finally, the dress that Shamia had on the last episode, it was cute. I think someone online saw her dress and you can find it on Shein. So you too can have that dress. That's it for Atlanta for me. Let's talk about the Laguna Beach reunion. I have not watched the show in forever. So it was nice to see old faces and recognize them. And, there was nothing really spectacular about it, but I enjoyed it. I like the format. They got them to shoot some scenes. It was like a couple of days, few days in the house. Then they spliced it in with the actual reunion. I mean, they're stage scenes, but it was nice, like giving them time to break off and kind of interact with each other. But the best thing about this reunion was that it was great timing. Great timing in that they all seemed ready for this. Like they were ready. They could look back. They could reflect. They wouldn't get angry or triggered by certain things, and they all just seem to be friends, some closer than others, but it was just good timing for them to do this. I mean, well, when Lo and Lauren meet up, they're trying to tell us that they're still great friends. They meet up at her office. That was a tad awkward. It didn't seem organic, so I don't know if they really still talk. And when when Casey Wilson brings out the shirt, what would Dieter do? And she's like, "What did you do to deserve this shirt? Like, what did you?" That was a little awkward too. They had most of the cast there. I was gonna say all the cast, but it wasn't. But just the main cast member because I mean Jen Bunny wasn't there. And for those who couldn't, they were on video call and they brought them in at certain times. And it was so crazy to see how much these kids got up to at their age. Because Jess at some point mentioned it, and she's right. Where were their parents? How were they allowed to go to Cabo and do all this stuff? And they were just always free. So yeah, Casey was okay as a host, not terrible, not bad, and they all seem to be doing well. They all seem to be. There was like three designers among the cast, and the scene where they showed Steven, going at Kristen at Cabo. I think he called her a whore or something like that. And he said he apologized and he apologized to his family, he apologized to his grandma. And his grandma was like, "Oh, she deserved it." I'm like, okay, Steven, you didn't have to be that honest. Yes, you've apologized, but we didn't have to bring that back up. And I don't think Kristen was amused by that. Like, he just could have kept that information to himself. Christina shared about her mental health struggles back then and how the cast was supportive, and Alex shared about her family losing everything and Kristen being there for her. The bonfire scene with Kristen and Lauren was long overdue, but it was cute. It was cute. Like, they're grown women. They're in their grown woman shit. And they acknowledge certain things. How Lauren was saying how she admired Kristen and just how gutsy she was. And Kristen saying, like, no, I was insecure myself, but I was just, fake it till you make it. And that's what she was doing on that show. So it's on the Roku channel. So if you can find that, that's where you can watch it. Those are the main shows that I was going to talk about. Just a little tidbit. Drag Race should be ending pretty soon. They had the RuPaul Perusa last week and it was fun. But honestly, did anyone think anyone else was going to win it except Juicy Dion? I mean, listen, I even thought Juicy Dion was going to win the show because who was going to beat her at lip sync? She's just really good at it. I don't know what can be done about the format because she didn't have to lip sync multiple times. She just went straight to the end. So your moves are going to be fresh and you're going to have fresh legs. But I don't know. Rue is suddenly giving Tyra Banks, like, we're lip syncing to all her songs now. Athena was so shocked when she was eliminated. I don't think she expected it. And I think that when Athena went with Mandy Mango, I don't think it was Athena, maybe Mia. I can't remember who it was, but I think Mandy Mango beat her. But the whole money move was actually lit. I think it was Athena, yes. It was. So Asaf being a is it a judge or pit crew? Every time I see him, I'm always just like, this guy was on the challenge and they still never mentioned that he was on there. But yeah, it was. So it was fun to watch that. House of Villains is still great. I truly love this show. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously. The stars understand the assignment. I hate to say it, but I did enjoy Tom on this show, and I kept wondering if Tyson really liked him or if it was just like a showman's for the show, but I do think he does. And also, the connection with New York is cute. Kate is killing it. When Ben came by, what was that point when Ben was in the bathroom and he just came out with the cameras? That was kind of awkward. I don't know what that was. And then she yelled like, "Oh, who's watching our child?" I guess the rumor is that he's the father of her child, but obviously he's not. So Drina missing her daughter's graduation, that's a lot to carry, especially your youngest, and you're never gonna have any other graduation again. But Drina has been great on this show. I'm waiting for just one challenge, the writer joke challenge where they say who had the best caption. I want that. I really enjoy that when they have that on there. So for the few that maybe watch Australian Survivor, it took me a while to warm up to the season and to warm up to David as the new host, but man, the second half of the season, it really took off. It was really great. I really enjoyed it. And I think the right winner won. I think I was at the point where whoever won at that point, I was okay with the final two, but boy, am I jealous. These people have a final two, they have a live reunion. Like Dave actually took the votes and they found out months later. Ugh, we used to be a real country with real survivor. But it was good. It was a great season. Married at First Sight Australia is also done. And, it's a little sad because you know, for those who don't know, one of the experts, Mel, she's been battling cancer for a couple of years and she lost her battle a few weeks ago and she passed away and they had like a tribute to her at the end and it was just really touching and, may her soul rest in peace. She's also the expert on the UK version. But this season was full of horrible people and terrible people and I'm so glad the season is done. So I don't know what they're going to do in the future. But that's all I got for you guys this week. As always, let me know what shows you would like me to talk about, or if you have any questions, would be very happy to answer any reality questions or any questions you have, even if it's about me. Happy to answer any questions for you guys. So until next time, guys, bye.
Between diets, workouts, and endless advice, it's hard to know what actually works for weight loss and what's worth your time. That's why hers offers access to an affordable range of FDA approved GLP-1 medications that now includes the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at hers, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever GLP-1 pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. Ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/alter to get personalized affordable care that gets you. That's FORHERS.com/alter. Forhers.com/ALTAR. Weight Loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information and restrictions, visit forhers.com.